Okay, so this video is going to cause you to make a computer sound. It's going to cause your brain to have a near aneurysm of surge of logic entering it all at once, which is likely why I'm on take 2 after having been slowed down to prevent such a painful transition of understanding from occurring on you. Notice the aggression in the background as I say that. So, to put it simply, let's say that there is a logical module, which means that existence itself operates in the condition that the more logical you are, the more that you can organize yourself in response to what existence is, and therefore survive it and make what you want happen. This means ultimately that existence craves logical response, that it is itself a logical responsive module. What you put into it is what occurs for you. Now let's say that within a limited field, someone is competing with me, and they know that I can only jump 2 blocks. Because of their continuous input, whatever I need is always going to be placed 3 blocks high. What this means is, as I continue to try and build myself up with their competitive input, they will always make a new reason as to why what I built is not high enough to get out of the water. Very simple. It's very difficult to understand how somebody could have this sort of power over anyone else, but it's quite easy to figure out. The first condition for someone to have control like this is to state that it is not possible, or that things are too limited for what you want to occur without problem or collision. This statement is, in fact, illogical because existence is unlimited, existence is infinite, and therefore, because anything exists in the first place, there is obviously enough material for everything to exist. So, without the ability to explain or verify this limitlessness against the accusation that life is limited, it causes, at conflict, a retreat of logic. What this means is whatever you're putting into the module gets pulled back because you don't want to experience collision. Collision is painful. Collision is a fight. Collision is a car crash. Collision is falling on your face after standing too high. Because for some reason, the higher you stand when you're wrong, the harder it hurts when you fall. So it's a thing that we all notice. So it causes us to retreat. Now, a good example of a reason somebody might retreat at this point, let's say you and I are having a discussion and you state, nothing's ever going to go wrong, nothing's ever going to go bad. And I say, oh really? So nothing's ever going to go wrong. All right, so let me stab you with this pin and tell me that nothing's going bad at that point. Now, obviously, you at that point would not like to go through that experience of collision, which at that point is possible because of the distance of structure that has already occurred and become material between us. It would pretty much just be me slicing down through what's already happening. Because you don't want to experience that, it would cause you to retreat your argument to try and rearrange it into something that responds to that. And in the time being, it would give me the ability to place my logical input to make what I want occur harder, faster, and stronger than what you're making occur because you have become logically fluid in an attempt to restructure yourself for safety. Now, once others reach this point of retreat, the illogical inputter can decide more of what's going on as a result. Now, the people who are in logical retreat aren't just retreating. They're actually at a temporary pacing in an attempt to resolve the conflict, to figure out what's wrong and how to properly respond to it. During that time, though, the logical inputter that's causing the limitation can be more confident, knowing that they're in a safety net of people trying to figure out how to stop them from colliding. The second input, the second thing that is required for this illogical control is things go wrong a little bit. Now, that's not the exact statement, but this statement comprehends that it is the best possible statement you can use. This statement is so powerful and so dangerous because it being presented is already something going wrong a little bit. This is very hard to remain confident against because the user's illogical input is technically something going wrong already. And so it is very hard to say that it is not true that things will go wrong even a little bit, because something is already going wrong at the point of accusation, at that point of challenge. However, it is only going wrong and being limited because of the illogical inputter's refusal of logic and cooperation. The statement appears to be true without intentional discooperation and input. However, it is observed that this statement is less true the less often it is presented and there is cooperation. I used the wrong version of there. Strange. Oh, okay. So let's say a bunch of particles exist and they're all going in whatever direction they can go. And because they're not colliding into each other, they can say, we are not at risk of running into each other. We exist, therefore there is enough space, there is enough room. So we can sum this down to we exist, we all exist, so there's enough room. So there's enough, right? We all exist, so there's enough. So let's say for some reason 2 of those particles crash into each other. They become at conflict. Even though there was a bunch of room for them not to ever crash into each other, for some reason they've just collided. Now because of this, the statement can be said, we have collided, so somehow there must not be enough room. This takes the free airborne conditions and restricts them to what I call the liquid state. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is pretty much what it is. This is how limitation occurs. So to simplify it, if somebody, while in a state of free, unlimited nature, chooses to collide with another person for any reason, they automatically make the environment limited, because now there is implication by collision that there is somehow not enough room, even in our thinking, for us not to collide with one another. This makes the space limited, and if no one can explain why it is not limited, then everyone must react safely to whatever limitation is occurring due to the collision. So we can call this a collision of logical operations. So let's say that a user has the intention, let's say a person has the intention to reduce another person's ability to act, to survive, to take care of themselves, to win, anything. This reduction of another person's operation is in itself illogical, because in a unlimited existence, there's no reason to limit anyone else. This illogical behavior is a collision in thinking that now implicates that there is somehow not enough space. So it goes like this. When unjustified, this behavior is illogical. It is a logical cooperative collision. They propose there is not enough space, and because of their unnecessary conflict, it is now apparently true. So in this model, we can say that there are 2 particles, 2 consciousness, and they can go any of these directions. But if for some reason one of them decides to go the direction where they crash, they can say, prove that we are not limited. And if the person says, I thought we all existed in the first place, wasn't that the answer? Then that person can respond, then why did I just do that? A very difficult, impossible question to answer. Not impossible anymore, because your boy just showed up, right? So I wasn't asking you. I was just trying to pull back at the confidence, because I still have to be in explaining mode and not cocky I just won mode. So here's how this works. At every point that a person collides with another person and asks them to prove that life is not limited, the person who is the one questioning the one being questioned. How do I say this? Let's just say A and B here. Because A has questioned B, B is now stuck within a questioning debt. That is, that in order to pass their control, they have to answer whatever question or disprove whatever illogical statement was used to confuse them and make it seem as if existence was limited. And so this person, let's say that they reach a point of limitation, and then they interact with this person and they say, prove to me that life is unlimited or what I'm doing is okay. If this person cannot prove that life is unlimited, then inherently what they're doing must be okay. So this person continues on to this person and says, prove that what I'm doing is not okay, or prove that life is unlimited or what I'm doing is okay, causing a cycle. So whoever is in a limited state and collides with someone who cannot justify unlimitation is always going to have more immediate and sort of, first, second, third control over the situation. The initiator of the limitation is always ahead in limited control as a result. Now, the question is, why would someone in an unlimited space choose to limit it? Hold on, let's make sure I didn't do something wrong here. Oh, under the conditions that I question is... Alright, I did all that. The answer is very simple. The one who causes the limitation is not yet able to express and therefore comprehend how existence and the events within it are unlimited despite their perception. Sorry, this part right here, all it says is when no one can explain how it is still unlimited despite collision, the person causing the collision is at the most control because they were the ones that were unlimited first. Pretty much. This should say it without me having to word it. But all right, so I'm kind of threatening it on action. What the hell? I'm threading it on action. Somebody's at this moment. I've already explained enough. Somebody's at this moment disagreeing with my statement because they don't want me to have power or whatever. So it's just causing an illogical... Well, pretty much they're trying to keep you confused because they don't want you to be smarter than them, but it's fine. So let's say that there are two brains in an environment, right? And one brain has less logical understanding of existential structure, meaning that within its storage, within its memory, it does not have as many logical laws and statements and existential rules as this brain does. And so because of that, this brain cannot experience cannot experience and thus feel confident in remaining safe or comprehending the situation as far as this brain can. And because this brain has more logical structure, it can go through any experience while still feeling that it has enough logical understanding to remain safe and comprehending of the situation. So let's say that you put these two brains, one with logical structure and rules stored within it, and the other without logical structure and rules stored within it. Then you put them through an event, and the event requires that they understand logical things in order to comprehend it, life. So let's say that you put this brain through it first. Let's call this logical understanding 1. They go through the process of experiencing it, but then they reach a point in which they can no longer logically express or understand the situation, so it becomes chaotic. They become scared, and thus, as they become scared and chaotic, it leads to collisive, chaotic, discooperative, and therefore limiting behavior, because they do not feel safe due to their inability to comprehend the situation beyond this point. Now, let's say that this person can comprehend the entire situation, but due to questioning from this person... let's say OU2 can comprehend the entire situation, but due to questioning from OU1, they reach a point of an inability to explain how life is still limited from that point, how life is still unlimited from that limited point of view. So this person can comprehend more of the situation without fear of experienceable collision. However, due to an inability to explain the logic to whatever challenge LU1 causes with their behavioral dysfunction, they are now afraid of continuing forward and have logically retreated. Now, this is pretty much what's going on. This is the structure of behavior that... I'm being attacked right now. I'm being attacked. That's all that's happening. Every time I stutter, every time I make a mistake, I'm being attacked. So just hold on. All right. So this leads to the female-male uniting, in which females select mates who are more capable and confident in facing and surviving these dysfunctional occurrences because of their desire to avoid experienceable collision. Experienceable collision being that there is enough structure that if I decided to stop cooperating at all, it would hurt you guys. That's all experienceable collision is. And so females are selecting their male mates, based on that male's ability to remain confident and to survive it whenever collisions occur, because they themselves would like to learn what's going on without being exposed to the experienceable pain and discomfort. And so it is this structure here of someone understanding and therefore being able to comprehend more of what's going on, and someone not understanding and therefore being able to comprehend less, that leads to comprehensions of governing. Whereas these people overreact and become afraid and start becoming chaotic, discooperative, and attacking each other. These people, these guys, can comprehend the situation and thus have the ability to, instead of taking advantage, and because they're not chaotic and cooperative, they can establish a form of order to organize those people who have not yet gained the ability to remain stable enough to see these things, and help them gain structure and put them in the safe little organized units, like let's say the job structure, like the whole working structure within the US, or the school system. And what is the school system for if not to organize children when they get to that age where they start going, this doesn't make any sense and I don't care. What is school for, right? It's to prevent them from dying. So this system of governing, which is necessary, is only allowed under the conditions that the higher governing individuals are not preventing the lower governing individuals from gaining knowledge and function. If these individuals ever prevent lower individuals from gaining higher function, then inherently there is no difference between these individuals except for storage of memory, which over time will be lost as they chaotically attempt to keep these people lower than them anyway. And so this structure is only safe whenever the people at a higher point are actually trying to help and not take advantage of the people at a lower point. This structure will use media and greater influence to improve its citizens' life, studying their mass conflicts, meaning these people with their ability to organize will look at everything that's going on and say, that's why they're doing that. Okay, this one thinks this is what's going on. Oh my God, a lot of them think that's what's going on. Holy crap. And so this leads to the studying of those conflicts and giving solutions in the same way that dogs who don't want to take their medicine are snuck pills in their meat whenever they need to take their medicine. Because these people are afraid of being controlled, fuck the government, fuck the police, all that shit, they become hostile and refuse to accept information that can improve their functioning so that they don't need to be governed as much. And so as a result, things are put into their media, things are put into their Instagram, things are put into their, let's say, even their pornography, things are put into their advertising for the places they go when they're not at work. Even at work, they're given information that constantly improves their function, challenges their thinking, so that they can realize, that's all that's going on. All right. Oh, okay. I'm not there yet. I gotta explain some more stuff on this page. So, if you're listening to this, that means that you're literally having information uploaded to your brain like a computer from another computer. I just want you to know that. And this information is I just solved everything. And I did solve everything, but I still got somebody who wanted me to keep this a secret so that it could just be me and them that knew, which means inherently they were trying to create the government that makes its citizens stupid to keep them under control, which would just end up with them sliding into the group slowly over time of people who can't control themselves because they did that. So, yeah. But, I guess I can move on now. So, remember that let's say LU1 and LU2, that LU1 cannot comprehend the situation as far, and therefore collapses and becomes discooperative at this point. However, LU2 can comprehend the situation at this point, and therefore, because of their ability to logically understand the situation, can stay organized and stay going no matter how distant in logic the situation gets. Why am I getting Ricked? Alright, whatever, bro. That's making me upset. I fuck with Rick, but I'm not Rick. Alright? So, here's what happens whenever this person becomes dysfunctional and demands help. They may say, it's not fair for you to know all this stuff. You need to explain it to me from my point of view. However, you should note that the higher that somebody is in logical perception, meaning if you stop here and I'm all the way over here, if I have to go this far back, it is pretty much like falling. And if I'm within structure of things that are occurring stably because I understand them, if you pull me back that far, all of that structure collapses on me, which is actually dangerous for my life in existence. It is the same thing as the threat of, if you think nothing's going to go wrong, what if I stab you in the hand right now? It's that same threat, except it actually occurs. If I'm high up and I'm doing things and I'm dealing with things, and you say, it's not fair for you to be rich and have money, and you need to explain it from this point of view, and I actually hear that stuff, then I've got to you're one of the things that I've got to keep up a balance against in order to deal with whatever I'm dealing with. And the lower you take me down, the more that whatever I'm dealing with can just collapse and crash on me without concern for what's going on. So it is this structure that eventually leads to celebrities and politicians faking their deaths. if it really happens. I don't know if it really happens. I think it really happens, guys. I don't know though. Don't say I did. Don't say I told you. So because when dealing with higher structure of occurrence, it is dangerous to stay exposed to someone who cannot comprehend that. It may become necessary to, instead of explaining what's going on, knowing that they're not going to comprehend it, after studying what they can comprehend, develop a believable story that keeps them calm and connected to the situation, seeing as they're already within a chaotic state. They're just going to be passing information around until they're confused about it again anyway. So, tell them whatever they need to hear to keep them from questioning situations so that you don't fall 7 meters to your death. 700 meters to your death because they had a question. So, yeah. That's what's going on. That's all this. Oops. That's what's going on. That's all it is. I want you to know I have this information saved solidly in my brain. Anyone who feels that I didn't communicate it clearly here, no, what the hell? Anyone who feels that I didn't communicate it clearly here, likely you not wanting me to is what caused it. And also there's probably somebody who's like just trying to study this information and then like just be like, okay, I know all this stuff and I know more than you, so I'm smarter than you now. Kill this guy and make me what he does. All right, so it's probably for that reason too. But yeah, that's the whole situation. If I had to summarize it very quickly, I'm gonna do that. So anytime someone chooses to have a conflict with somebody else, they are limiting the environment. If they say that the environment is not unlimited, them choosing to attack things is actually making it limited, so that statement is technically true only because of their behavior. Now, if somebody cannot still express why things are still unlimited despite their chosen limitation, it causes a bit of a cycle in which the person promoting the limitation has more control over anyone who is not able to explain why the limitation is false. The reason this occurs is because whoever is causing the limitation is not yet able to express and therefore comprehend how existence is still unlimited despite whatever limited occurrence they're facing. Anyone who has a higher understanding of structure can experience a situation longer without fear of experienceable collision than someone who has lower structure, who might at a lower point of the event begin to feel afraid because they don't understand things and start becoming competitive, discooperative, and scared, and then attacking these guys who they say need to explain why life is unlimited. And if they can't to this point of view, it causes them to logically retreat, leaving them kind of all that stuff. So this leads to female-male units in which females look for mates that can face experienceable collision and survive it, or just have the confidence to face it while they observe the situation and learn in order to avoid the pain of experienceable collisions themselves. Now, it is inherently this structure that leads to higher government. So it is this structure that leads to higher government, and it is this structure that leads to the individuals that need to be kind of organized and controlled for their own safety within that government. Now, instead of you thinking that it's just, we're going to use these people and do what we want, we actually get killed if we do that. We become exactly, so at the control dysfunction you have, where you don't want anyone to control you, yet you want to control others. If we want to control you for no reason, we end up just like you. We get thrown into this mix, and no one wants to be there. It fucking sucks. I hate this. Get me out of this. Get me out of this. All right. But anyway, so the higher government organizes them into safer structures so that they have the space to figure things out without fear. This allows them time to stabilize, develop memory, and therefore gain the logical structures they need to act on their own. If the situation occurs that this government is actually keeping their citizens low, what I just said, they get thrown into the mix because they are doing something that attacks them and is illogical for them. And the more they act illogically, the more illogical they become, the less they can remember and keep stable logical structures. So whenever somebody is high up in logical structure and they're demanded question and justification by someone who is low in logical structure, it can be dangerous for their lives, as all the solid structure that they're surrounded by can collapse on them on the immediate way down to deal with this person's point of view. So it may become necessary at times to lie to an individual who cannot understand the situation to keep me from collapsing. Because I be going off and I be doing shit. You know that. Come on, shawty. You know, I'll be out there working and saving the world. Come on, you know I'll be saving the world. I'm like a secret agent. Whenever the camera's not on me, whenever you all aren't looking at me, I'm literally a secret agent. I'm flying. I'm opening portals. I'm saving Hitler and changing his mind in the past, and it's slowly, fluidly becoming reality because too many people still hate Hitler, despite a point in which Hitler even admitted that what he did was stupid. But that's a whole completely different situation. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. Thank you guys for watching.